man, drop a like on this video right now if you're rocking with me in NBA 2K21. I cannot wait. Yes, sir, YouTube. You guys know what time it is, man. What's going on? It's your boy Choc, and you guys already know, man, I'm coming at you another banger video. You guys know the vibes. Now, look, in today's video, man, NBA 2K21 is coming out in 2 days, and I want to make sure that if you're one of my viewers, you're one of my subscribers, that you are adequately equipped to play NBA 2K21, all right? I'm going to be telling you guys the best builds for every position in the game, all right? Sometimes you click on a video and you're only getting one build in one position. No. I'm going to be giving you guys the best builds in NBA 2K21. That way, when the game drops, you guys aren't wasting any time trying to figure out a build. You guys will know what build you're going to be on right here and right now. Before I get into the video, I want to give a huge shout out to WR Pro-Am League, guys. WR Pro-Am League is where the pros play. Over 95% of the NBA 2K League has played in WR's Pro-Am League. They've given out over $300,000 in cash prizes. And guys, look, if you want to take NBA 2K beyond just playing for fun and you want to be in the most competitive and most respected NBA 2K Pro-Am and Park leagues, then this is the league for you guys. Be sure to go check out WR Pro-Am leagues. They are the best leagues by far. Alright guys, so at first I'm going to go over the point guard build. So I'm going to be showing you guys 5 of the main prominent builds that you should be looking to use going into NBA 2K21. You can use any of these builds and obviously tweak them up to fit your playstyle, but these are going to be the 5 most prevalent builds on NBA 2K21. I'm telling you guys right now, before you make a build, make sure you watch this video and make sure that you're making one of these, because these builds are going to get the most busy. And guys, I respond to every single question, so if you have any questions for me, let me know in the comment section. But look, for this first one, you're going to do the primary blue, secondary green, all right? In 2K20, it was like the half and half one. This year, the half and half build does not go as crazy, but if you're looking for a build that's kind of similar to that, this build is going to be the build for you, okay? You're still going to be able to get contact dunks. You're still going to be able to get busy shooting wise, because you still have good shooting stats. As you guys can see right here, you still end up getting, I believe it's 17 shooting badges. So that's 18 finishing, 17 shooting, which is a pretty solid spread to say the least. So you're going to max out your pass accuracy and max out your ball handling. That's going to give you 13 playmaking. If you feel like you need more than that, you can take away from the defense that you're going to see right here. But me, I always like having defensive badges on my player, so I want to make sure that I'm rocking with at least 5 defensive badges. I feel like 5 defensive badges is the glitch, and then I throw 2 on post moves. That way you have 14 playmaking, so that's 18 finishing, 17 shooting, 14 playmaking, and 5 defensive. 5 defensive is more than enough for you to get busy with. Now look, you're not going to be able to speed boost off rip. However, at 6'3", by 99, if you were to go minimum weight, you would have over an 86. If you wanted to just have a flat 86 and 99, you could go a little bit over, almost max, 83.1, and that would give you 86 and 99. But in order to be able to speed boost as quick as possible, go minimum wingspan 6'3". Takeover is your choice, but obviously this is a slashing primary build, so I would select that slasher takeover, and that is your build number 1. Build number 2, and by far my favorite point guard build this year, is the half blue, half yellow. Now look, this is the primary playmaking, primary finishing build. This build is going to end up being the meta. Whether it's the meta at the beginning of the game or when people learn how to shoot, at some point in time, people will be using this build as a meta build. I'm just telling you, this build went crazy in 2K20. But there were so many builds that were more overpowered, and majority of those builds got nerfed, like the two-way slashing playmakers. Builds like that got nerfed. This is a build that didn't catch a nerf, okay? You guys know my motto. In 2K20, all you needed was 10 to succeed and shoot greens, and that was with quick draw. So with the removal of quick draw, you have 12 shooting badges, which is going to be more than enough. And look at this spread already. 15 finishing, 12 shooting, and 22 playmaking. Obviously, again, this is just a template. If you would like more finishing, then go ahead. You can up your finishing to get some more badges. But me personally, like I said, I care about defense on my builds. I like being able to do a little bit of everything, okay? So I don't want to be a defensive liability. So me personally, I upgrade my defense, and I'm going to get 5 defensive badges. The thing that I like about this build, you go Burley, you go 6'5", and if you really want to glitch them out, guys, if you really want to get glitchy, you go with max wingspan. So that's a 90 driving dunk at 99, a 73 at 99 with boost, and a 90 ball handle. I'm telling you guys right now, this build is what I believe is going to be the meta. Same kind of thing right here. You can pick any badge. I would personally either go playmaking or slasher badge, probably slasher because this is a primary finishing badge. But yeah, guys, that is build number 2, and this build is just as OP. This build will end up being the meta. You heard it here first. This build is going to take over 2K21. Mark my words. Build number 3 is probably the safest build in NBA 2K21. All right, if you're not looking to take a risk, if you don't want to go high risk, high reward, then I would go ahead and select this pie chart right here. Primary playmaking, primary shooting. You guys know this as the play shot build. I'm going to put you guys on the best way to build it. But this is obviously the safest build in 2K, okay? You know that if you can dribble and shoot, you're going to be fine. But this build, you know, it's one of those builds that it's either going to be hit or miss, man. I know what Mike Wang and them have said. They've said, oh man, you need a high 3 ball to be able to shoot. But guys, at what point do we stop believing every single thing that comes out of 2K's mouth, man? There's so many promises that have been made and so many things that they say are going to happen that just don't happen. And then you guys are mad every year because you're believing what they say. I personally don't believe what they say, but I'm telling you, this build right here is a good build. And like I said, it's by far your safest build. If you don't want to take a risk, you want to build that you know is going to be able to shoot and handle the ball, this is probably the build for you. The good thing about this is I would go 6'4", minimum weight, and then minimum wingspan. That way you guys can max out at a 90 ball handling, and you will max out at a 95 three-pointer, which is super high for your takeover. Again, this comes down to preference. I would probably go shot creator takeover, but you could easily make a case to go sharp or playmaking. It's totally up to you. But this build right here is going to be a good build. Do not get it twisted just because I said it's a safe build. This is going to be a good build, and if you guys are looking for a build that's going to just be able to handle the ball and shoot, this is going to be the build for you. Build number 4, and probably the build that caught the biggest nerf heading into 2K21, is the two-way slashing playmaker build. Now look, this build is still valid, all right? It's not as OP as it used to be. So if you're going to build this build, do not think you're going to be able to build it as OP as it once was, because simply put, it's just not. Obviously, this build was the meta in NBA 2K20. I posted a video on it. That video went crazy. Everybody was telling me, Choc, this build's crazy. Thank you for putting me on. But man, this build right here is still good. Okay, it's still a good build. Don't get it twisted. As you guys can see, 8 finishing, 11 shooting, 20 playmaking, 16 defensive. Like I said, this is just a template. If you want to take down your playmaking, get more finishing, or take down your defense, get more finishing, stuff like that, be my guest. But this is probably the best spread for this build. Now look, you need to make sure that you go 6'5" if you're going to want to get contact dunks. You're going to have to go 6'5", and then you're going to have to go max weight, because 84 is the minimum to catch contact dunks. So yeah, you could go down a little bit, but it's pointless at that point. You're going to want to go 6'5", max wingspan, and that's going to allow you to still be able to speed boost and get contact dunks at 99 overall. So look, obviously it's not as OP as it used to be, but it's still a super solid build, and you can still easily get busy with this build. Takeover is totally preference. I've seen a lot of people do lock. I used to do playmaking takeover. I wouldn't personally do slashing. I would stick to one of these two takeovers, whichever one fits your game more. And for the last point guard build, you're going to have to go to small forward, all right? I know that's weird. Why would you make a small forward point guard? But you're going to go ahead and go with the pure playmaking small forward. Now look, we just talked about two-way slashing playmakers getting nerfed. This build caught a mega, and I mean mega buff, okay? You want to make sure that you get free 3 finishing badges. That way you guys can get the long athlete layup package, and then you're going to go ahead and max out your shooting. But listen to what I'm saying, all right? This build, for whatever reason, I don't know if 2K was like, man, we want to see more of these, or what it is. I don't know exactly what it is that was going through 2K's head, but they nerfed the crap out of this build. I don't know why. They just decided, you know what? It's going to be a pure playmakers year, guys. As you guys can see by this badge spread, this build is going to go absolutely crazy. And I don't know why they did it. 3 finishing, 14 shooting, 30 playmaking, 8 defensive. But that's not really where the build's glitchy. The glitchy part is that you're 6'7", and you can go max or minimum wingspan. See, me personally, I would go max, and then I know at 99 I can speed boost. But if you want to speed boost off rip, just go minimum wingspan, and you can still do that. For your takeover, you're a pure playmaker, so make sure you're taking that playmaking takeover. But I'm telling you guys right now, this build is one of those builds that you're going to be tall, long, and be able to do a little bit of everything. This is a scary build, man. These 6'7" pure playmakers are super scary, because you're going to have a lot of 6'2", 6'3" guards out there that are going to be getting bullied because you're a 6'7" playmaker that can do everything that they can. All right, so let's talk about lockdowns. All right, lockdown defenders are a tricky position because you want to be able to do a little bit of everything. You don't want to be a liability shooting. You want to be able to stay in front of your defender, and you also want to be able to impact the game in multiple ways. So look, I'm going to be bringing you 4 different lockdown builds. That way you guys can choose whichever one fits you. So the first one, you're going to go with the shooting guard, all right? This is the safe lock build, okay? This is that lock build that, like, you know it's going to be fine no matter what, okay? I'm going to give you some risky ones as well, but this is one that you know is going to be fine, all right? It's the red and green because, you know, you're going to need to be able to play defense. You're going to need to be able to shoot. All right, red and green, you're going to max your driving layup and your driving dunk. Those are the necessities. You don't really need finishing badges on this kind of build. You're going to max your shooting out, okay? It's going to give you 20 shooting badges, all right? 20 shooting badges with an 80 plus 3 is more than enough, okay? On this build as well, you're going to get pro dribble moves, all right? So you're going to go ahead and leave your pass accuracy at 54, your ball handling at 75, and then you're going to completely max your defense, all right? And look, this is a template, okay? You're on a lock sharp, all right? So to me, all that matters is you're going to be defending and shooting. Now, look, if you want to go ahead and like, hey, I don't need 20, I only need 15 or 14, and I want to have finishing badges, or I want to go ahead and get playmaking badges because I want quick first step, then be my guest and do that. But I'm always just going to show you how I would personally run it, and I would just max out the shooting, max out the defense for your body shape. I'm always going to tell you go barely 6'5", minimum, and then you can really go maximum on the wingspan. I would go maximum on the wingspan, especially as a lockdown, because you want to make sure that you can get as much contest as possible for your badge. Please do not be one of those people that pick shot creating badge on a lockdown, guys. Stick to what you do. Take that lockdown defender badge, and you're going to be fine. This is a typical lock sharp, and you're going to be able to do exactly what your team needs you to do on it. Now, for those of you out there who like taking risks, such as myself, because you know that no matter what, you're going to be able to shoot an NBA 2K since they cannot figure out how to make a game where you can't shoot with a 53 ball, go ahead and make this build, all right? You're going to go with point guard, pure red, all right? Pure red point guard, speed pie chart. Now, look, you're going to make your close shot a 72, all right? 72 close shot, your driving layup, max it out, driving dunk, max it out, that's 5 finishing. For your shooting, whoops, I thought I was on shooting. For your shooting, you're going to go ahead and max out the main 3, and then you're going to take your post fade to a 59, okay? 59 post fade, that's going to give you 5 shooting badges. And if you know anything about 2K, you should know that every single year you can get away with a low 3 ball and low shooting badges. I'm not saying you're going to be knocking it down the way the lock sharp was, but you're still going to be able to knock that sucker down. Now, you're going to do this, okay? You're going to take your playmaking. That way you can get 7 playmaking. Now, the reason I did this and the reason I like this build personally is because that's going to give you floor general for your teammates, and it's going to give you quick step for yourself. Now, you don't have to do this. You can obviously go get more finishing badges or go get more defense, but that's just my thought process behind getting that is I want to be able to help my team out, plus also be a little bit fast myself, and then boom, you're going to have 30 defensive badges, so your spread is 5, 5, 7, and 30, which trust me, guys, this build right here is a sleeper build, all right? 6'8", okay? 6'8", minimum weight, max wingspan, all right? I might run this build at center, okay? Stay tuned for that. This might be a build that I run at center. A minimum weight, max wingspan is the absolute glitch. You will have a 90 speed and 99 overall. You're going to have high defensive stats, a high enough 3 ball to knock down, and you're going to be able to get contact dunks. Obviously, you can take slasher or lock takeover. We are a lockdown defender, so I would personally say go ahead and take that lock takeover. But if you want to get glitchy and you want to rock that slasher takeover because you're going to be able to get contact dunks, then be my guest. This build is a little bit more risky, but sometimes you got to risk it to get the biscuit, my friends. All right, for build number 3, we're at the small forward category. Now, this is a build where you don't really want to risk it, but you don't think that you need Hall of Fame shooting. You're going to go red, primary, small, green. All right, so you're still going to have a good amount of shooting badges with a build like this. Look at how it comes right here. Max out your close shot, max out your driving layup, your driving dunk. I always feel like those things should be maxed. Not necessarily the close shot, but I always feel like these 2 things should be maxed on any build. Even though you don't necessarily need finishing badges, you want to make sure that you can do those. Those are like a necessity, okay? So what you're going to do from here is you're going to, oops, I did it again. You're going to max out your mid-range, max out your 3-pointer, take your free throw to a 75, and then max out your post fade. That's going to give you 13 shooting. Obviously, you can max that out if you feel the need to. I personally don't. And then you're just going to max your defense, all right? You're going to max your defense out because you're a lockdown. You want to be able to get stops. You want to be able to do a little bit of everything. That's going to give you 23 defensive, and then you still have a lot of points left over, so you can do whatever you want here. Like I said, if you want to go ahead and put your ball handling up, if you want to get your team full, like you want to max your shooting, you want to get finishing badges, you know what I'm saying? Be my guest. It's all personal preference, guys. This is how I would probably personally run it, okay? Body shape burly. Your height is all preference. I wouldn't necessarily go 6'8", unless you're going to go minimum weight because you do start slowing down. So 6'8" minimum weight you can get away with. 6'9" is really starting to push it because you're super slow. Even at 99, you're only going to have an 82 speed. I would go maximum 6'8" and minimum 6'6" on a build like this. Okay, maximum 6'8", minimum 6'6". I always go minimum weight, maximum wingspan, and then obviously this is pretty good because you could get like a glass cleaning takeover. Obviously, again, I wouldn't recommend it unless you're playing twos and you're going to guard the back end of the pick and roll. I would always go that lock takeover because, again, you are a lockdown defender, and this is another build that you know is going to be safe because it's going to be able to knock down shots and you're going to be able to play defense. For your last build, you're going to stay in the small forward category. This is another build where you risk it to get the biscuit, all right? Sometimes you got to take risks in life, and then they lead to high rewards. So, look, you're going to go with the red and blue, all right? Slashing and defending primary speed pie chart, and then look, you're going to go ahead and max your close shot, max your driving layup, max your driving dunk, and then take your standing dunk to a 58. It's going to give you 18 finishing badges, which is a ton, guys. It's more than enough. For your shooting, you're going to have a 9 shooting badges, and to be honest, I would drop that down a little bit. I would probably take my free throw to a 75 and rock out with 6 shooting badges because I feel like all you need is 10, and that was with quick draw, so you definitely need less this year. For your defense, max it out, guys. Max out that defense. That's going to give you the maximum number of defensive badges. You're going to have 22 defense, and then look, boom, you can throw it on that. And then you're rocking out, guys. That's 18 finishing, 9 shooting, 1 playmaking, and 22 defense on a Hall of Fame finishing and Hall of Fame defensive build. For your height, I kind of like it at 6'7", guys, because you're going to be a 90+ speed, as you guys can see right here. At 99 overall, you would be a 93 speed, which is very glitchy, but you could also go 6'6", and that way you would have a 95 speed. So I'm just going to say 6'6" here. 6'6", max wingspan, 55 three-pointer. I know it deteriorates a lot of you guys. A lot of you guys won't pick this build because of that, but you can tell right away that this build has good lateral quickness and good speed. It's going to be able to do everything you need, and like I said, on this build, you could go ahead and get slash and takeover if you really wanted to. I personally wouldn't. But go ahead and take that lockdown takeover, and you're keeping it pushing, man. But those are the 4 lockdown builds. Now, for your sharp builds, there's only 3 main builds that I would even look at building. So the first one starts in the power forward category. And again, when it comes to sharp builds, it kind of just depends on how you want to play the game. The first one is the primary green, small yellow pie chart. So the 60-40 pie chart, that's the one you're going to take for your physical profile, go speed. Now look, this build is a good build if you're looking to be a sharp, but you also want to be able to put the ball on the floor and make plays for yourself. Some people will probably run this in the park as like a primary ball handler. Me personally, no, but you can definitely get busy on this build and make some noise if you're still looking to go back to like the 2K19 ways with a traditional pure sharp that could handle the rock. So look, 26 shooting, 20 playmaking, 3 defensive. Obviously, this is just a template. If you don't feel like you need playmaking, take it down, get more defensive, etc., etc. For your body shape, go burly. Now look, for your height, I would go 6'8", minimum weight, and max wingspan. Now look, the reason I would do this is because all you're going to be able to do anyways is get pro dribble moves. On this build right here, 6'8" max wingspan, you will be able to get pro dribble moves at 97 overall. You're still going to have an 80+ 3-ball, and you're still going to have like long athlete layup package because you'll be over 70. This build is a build you can definitely get busy with for your takeover. It's really all preference. It depends on what you want to do on this type of build. If you're going to be spotting up, I would just take that sharp takeover. But you know, if you want to body some little guards because you're going to run this as a primary ball handler, take that post score. But if you're going to make plays again too, take playmaking. Like I said, pick a takeover that fits your game. Don't just grab a takeover to grab a takeover. But this build right here, you're going to be able to get busy with it. This is like a sharp that can do a little bit more, that can make plays for others. Do not be surprised if you see this build on twos running primary guard. For build number 2, we're going to go to the small forward category, and we're going to go to the traditional pure sharp on this one. All right, for my people that just want to stand still and knock down all their shots, this is that traditional pure sharp build right here. So what you're going to do, as always, max your driving layup, max your driving dunk. You're going to max your shooting out. It's going to give you 30 shooting badges. Again, you can adjust it if you don't feel like you need that many. For your ball handling, max it. Pass accuracy, max it. That's 5 playmaking. You're also going to be able to get pro dribble moves on this build, which is pretty dope as well. For your defense, now this is where I kind of like this build because you're going to have a lot of defense. And if you guys know anything about me, you know that I care about defensive badges. So look, if you want finishing badges, you could easily take some things down, take down your free throw, your post move, stuff like that. If you want to find a way to just find a way to run into a finishing badge, like, yeah, you don't really need that high of a mid-range and you want to get some finishing badges, that would be my best bet for you guys, would be to take stuff like that down. Obviously, I wouldn't recommend it. I would just recommend you leaving the finishing alone and then maxing out on the categories that are a little bit more important for the build. So look, 1 finishing, 30 shooting, 6 playmaking, and 8 defensive in rebounding, body shape, burly. And then I would, if you want to have the pro dribble moves, right? If you want to have pro dribble moves, I would stay 6'7", because it's 6'7", 99 overall. You will get pro dribble moves. If you don't care about pro dribble moves, you could easily go 6'8", easily go 6'9", easily 6'10". Totally up to you, whatever you guys think. But just keep in mind, for those pro dribble moves, you need to be 6'7" or shorter. But let's just say you want to be a traditional pure. You're rocking with the 6'8" minimum weight, maximum wingspan. And then obviously, if you're a traditional pure, you better not take the playmaking takeover. You better go for the spot up shooter takeover. That way you're out there knocking down all of your shots. And for the last sharp build, these are the type of sharps that I like to rock with, all right? These are not the traditional pures, but they're more close to traditional than ones that's making plays. You're gonna go the half red, half green, the lock sharps. All right, now look, the reason I'm so big on lock sharps is I feel like lock sharps can do everything that pure sharps can do, because they still have a high 3 ball and they still have Hall of Fame shooting badges. I'm not really a fan of running with pures unless they're like super, super tall, because why not have a build that's going to get 22 Hall of Fame defensive badges and shoot just as good as a pure? I've never really understood people's logic behind that, but again, this is all preference, guys. It's all what you're going to want to do. And on this build, you'll still get pro dribble moves. As you can see, I would leave it at 6'5", to be honest. 6'5" is what I would go on this type of build. 6'6", maybe, because you could still get pro dribble moves at 6'6", and you're still going to have a 90+ speed. I will rock with that 6'6" right there. You can see the defensive stats, they're pretty solid. You have good enough finishing stats to get going. And guys, a 73 ball with Hall of Fame shooting badges is going to be cash money for your takeover. You don't get the spot up shooter takeover, which kind of sucks, but you can get that lock takeover and be versatile for your team. That way, you know, you're not just a liability on the court on the defensive end. You can knock them down on the offensive end and still lock them up on the defensive end. Now let's move on to the hardest position to talk about, and that's power forward. Now look, to be completely honest with you guys, there's no meta for power forward. All right, power forward is really just what your team is going to need. Power forwards are only really going to be prevalent in Pro-Am. So like if you're running Pro-Am, not a lot of teams will run a traditional power forward. They'll probably run 2 locks. Some teams will, but a lot of teams won't. So look, if you're looking for a traditional power forward type build, all right, it's going to be a tough one. To be honest with you, a lot of these power forward builds, you're going to kind of have to take the risk and say, man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to shoot, but I really hope that if I get on a build like this, I'm going to be able to shoot. And to be honest with you guys, like when I used to play these types of builds, I knew I was going to knock down my shots with a low 3 ball, because I just know how this game works. Like this game has always worked like that. You've always been able to knock down shots with a low 3 ball in 2K. So listen, when Mike Wang and all these people are like, oh man, you're not going to be able to shoot this year without a low 3 ball, I say blasphemy. All right, I say blasphemy. I say there's literally no chance, because it's just never been a theme in 2K that you couldn't do that. Like you've always been able to shoot with a low 3 ball in 2K. And to be completely honest with you guys, I just don't foresee that changing. Now, if it does, I'll apologize and I'll say, you know what, 2K finally did it, but it's been years, guys. It's been years, and it's something that they've never even really looked at changing. So look, I will run a build like this at power forward. All right, I'm gonna show you guys more than one build, but I would run a build like this. If you're gonna be a power forward, make sure you're either a lockdown defender or a pure bucket. This build right here is a pure bucket. 12 shooting, 26 finishing, 9 defensive, and 3 playmaking. The 3 playmaking is so you can get gold quick first step. For your height, I would leave it at 6'9". I think 6'9" is the perfect height. No bigger than 6'10", okay? 6'10" would be my max. I would not tell you to make it 6'11". 6'11's a little too big to be out there on the court. I would go 6'9" or 6'10". I always go minimum wingspan, minimum weight, but a lot of you guys don't like that. So for a power forward, maybe just leave that in the middle, max wingspan. So look, I know what you're thinking. Choc, you have a 53 ball. How in the world am I going to make that? You've always been able to, guys. You've always been able to make it. This game is very similar to 2K20. It's very similar to 2K19. It's not changing, guys. And you know that there's going to be some glitch jump shot that's always going in. And just don't be surprised when you can shoot again this year, all right? I don't want to hear it. I warned you, all right? For your takeover, I would go slashing takeover on a build like this, because this is a pure bucket build. Slash or a post score, this is more of a scoring build. Now for the last build, obviously I'm not going to sit here and make another log sharp. You guys could easily make a log sharp and get away with it at power forward. But look, a build that I would take a chance on is the primary red secondary shooting, because you want to be able to play good defense, but you also don't want to be 50 out there in the corner. I'm just showing you guys multiple options. That way, if you're not feeling one of the playstyles, this video has a build that's going to fit your playstyle, all right? I want to be able to cover all the grounds. I want to make sure that if you're watching my videos, I got something for everyone, all right? Because if you're watching this video and you don't have something for you, I mean, it's probably to the point where you should look at playing another game, because I feel like I've gone over freaking everything I could possibly go over to get you right. So look, same type of thing, 6'9 to 6'10. I would not go 6'11 because you just get too slow. And speed kills in 2K. You don't want to be that slow out there. 6'9 to 6'10, totally up to you. This build is going to be a lot better of a defender, but it's not going to be as good of a finisher, clearly. This is for somebody who's just going to sit in the corner and play defense. This would be a good build for you. I would probably go minimum weight on this build so you have a lot of bait. That's going to be an 80 speed and 99. And then guys, you have a 65 plus 3 ball with a lot of shooting badges, and then you have solid defensive stats for your takeover, either glass or rim, whichever one fits your game more. But this is more of the traditional power forward, all right? Somebody who's not on the team to get a bucket, but somebody who's on the team to play their role. This is that role-playing build, all right? Last but not least, let's dive into center builds. Now look, as you guys saw in my center build video, this is a controversial topic for me because I look at centers in a different light than most people would. I'm going to show you guys the 3 pie charts that I would look at if I'm going to make a center build, all right? I would look at making a red and blue, all right? That's the slashing primary and the defending primary. That's going to give you Hall of Fame defense and Hall of Fame finishing. I would look at that one. I would look at making a red and green. That's the Hall of Fame shooting, Hall of Fame defense. I would only make this build if you're looking to be a popper, because otherwise it's not really going to be a good build. You're not going to play the best defense on this build, but you're going to be able to space the court and get threes. And everybody's motto nowadays is 3s over 2s. So if you're looking to get 3s on a build, this is the build for you. And then my personal favorite, guys, I like the pure red this year, all right? I like the pure red this year. This is my personal favorite. It's just something about the pure red that's really speaking to me this year. I feel like it's going to be an easy year for guards to get buckets, and I feel like the paint is going to be on lock. Now look, this is where I start losing you guys, all right? Strength is irrelevant. All right, strength is irrelevant. I'm telling you guys right now, it always has been, it always will be. It's just 2K, all right? It's not my logic. I didn't make the game. It's just going to be irrelevant. And I don't care how many Reddit posts you guys see, or how many times Mike Wang says this was fixed, or Ronnie comes out and says that was fixed. Guys, they do this every year. Stop falling for the bait that they put on the timeline. They don't want to flat out say, hey guys, we made a category that's completely irrelevant to the game, all right? That makes them sound bad. But I'm telling you, strength is irrelevant. So look, I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys how I would make these builds. I lose a lot of you guys on the center builds, man, and I'm telling you, a lot of you guys who don't like my center builds will be coming to me midway in the year like, man, Choc, you were really right. Like, these center builds actually go crazy, and it's fine. Like, I can't blame you. I totally understand where you guys are coming from, because it goes away and defies a lot of logic. For my center builds, I would never make a build that is over 6'10". My threshold is 6'8" to 6'10". The only way you make a 6'8" center is if you go power forward, and that's how I'm going, all right? I'm going 6'8", minimum weight, max wingspan. That's how I'm getting down, all right? But I didn't even tell you guys about the minimum weight. If you want to be out there and have the upper hand on your opponents, you need to go minimum weight. You lose nothing when you go minimum weight besides strength and interior defense. And I'm telling you guys right now, strength and interior defense are not that important. You're going to have 30 defensive badges, which is more than enough to be able to play defense with. It's so much more important that you have that speed advantage on your opponents, because I'm telling you guys, so many people are going to come out with these 7 foot, these 7'1", these 7'2" centers, and they're like, oh man, I just want to be a tank. Look at me, guys. I have 84 strength, and they have a 42 speed, and you're not going to be able to compete like that, guys. I'm begging you, if you're watching this video at this point, make sure your center is 6'8" to 6'10", and make sure it is minimum weight. I'm telling you, strength is irrelevant. It always has been, and it always will be. Nothing's going to change. I don't foresee a change. And if it changes, listen, I apologize in advance. But it's not going to, so I'm not apologizing in advance, all right? Make sure you're going minimum weight on your center. Now look, when it comes to the takeovers, all right? Whether you choose glass cleaning or rim protector takeover is totally up to you. The reason I pick rim protector takeover is because I like to stand behind the screen and spam X, okay? If you spam X without lock or rim badge, you will lose part of your takeover. And then I just feel like you're going to get a lot more stops with rim protector takeover as well. I don't really care to see where the circle is, where the rebound's going, because I kind of can guess, and usually I'm right. But if you're one of those people who don't really know where the rebound's going, make sure you select that glass cleaning takeover. But listen, guys, I'm telling you, those are the main 3 pie charts, bro. Those are the main 3 pie charts. My favorite 2 are the red and blue, but if you're looking to be a popper, make sure you pick this one. And power forward 6'8" or center 6'9" and 6'10" is the wave. Please, 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 guys. I know I've said it so many times at this point. I'm like, you guys can't see me because I have no face cam, but I'm literally like pulling my hair out because some of you guys in the comment section just don't understand. Please do not set yourself up with a 40 to 50 to 60 speed center, because you're going to have to make a new center to be competitive, because speed is everything in NBA 2K. It always has been, and it always will be. And that, my friends, is the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope that you learned a little something new about what my players you guys want to make in NBA 2K21, guys. Look, if you guys are new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe and hit that like button, guys. I post banger NBA 2K content all the time. Everything that you guys need to know about NBA 2K21, I will be posting. The best dribble moves, best jump shots, best builds. Everything you need to know is on this channel, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, it's your boy Choc, and I'm out. Peace.